Hi, I'm Joe Glavin with Philadelphia Floor. Today we're going to apply water-based finish with a T-bar on a maple hardwood floor. Before applying a water-based top coat, we applied the water-based sealer. For this job we used Vermont Natural Coatings Polyway 3000 sealer. It's important to use the proper sealer with the water-based top coat. The application method is identical to the top coat. We'll cut in and pull our lines of finish across the floor. After giving the sealer a minimum of 3 hours to dry, we prepared the buffer to sand between coats. The Norton Green Sand Dollar is the recommended disc between seal coat and finish coat. We're backing up the green Norton Sand Dollar with a 3M white Scotch-Brite pad. The white Scotch-Brite pad is going to give us flexibility so that the buffer floats across the floor and doesn't cut into the sealer. As you can see, our buffer is outfitted with a dust collection system, the skirt, a vacuum hose, and a backpack vac. If you notice the position of the buffer, we're clocking the buffer. To find more information on clocking a buffer, go to phillyfloor.com and look up white papers. When you're about halfway through the square footage of the room that you're buffing, stop the buffer, lean it back, remove the sand dollar, and flip it. Typically, water-based sealers and the acrylic in them cause typical screens to clog up. The sand dollar and its unique shape of interior cuts allows this acrylic dust to pile up in the pad and inside the sand dollar, thus allowing it to be free and not clog up. With this particular dust being free and not clogging up, it won't scratch the floor. After buffing between coats, we vacuum the floor. We'll get up all the large particles and most of the fine dust that we can. But as you can see, there's still a little bit of fine dust left. We have to tack the floor. Here we have a clean white towel, soaked in water and wrung out, and wrap it on the end of a push broom. That's all there is to tacking the floor. To apply the top coat and the sealer, we've used a pour bucket, the T-bar, and a cut-in pad. In this application, we're using Vermont Natural Coatings Polyway 3500 in a satin sheen. It's a good idea just to stage all of your materials so they're accessible. All we've done here is simply laid out a trash bag to keep anything that would be on the bottom of the gallons or the pour buckets or any of the application materials, give them a spot to rest on without damaging the floor. The spout on the pour bucket allows us a smooth pour. The finish will not splash into the areas we've already coated. We'll pour approximately a 6-inch wide puddle close to the wall. We're going to wet out our applicator and get the cut-in pad wet as well. On this particular job, there were 2 men applying the finish. One was cutting in ahead of the person using the T-bar and pulling the line of finish. Cutting in is important, so when the applicator gets to the wall, the puddle can be turned ahead of it. As you continue to pull the puddle forward, as you get to the wall, make your turn, go back in and feather out the turn mark. As you can see, as the line gets smaller, we add more material to keep the wet edge. At this particular job, there were several areas to transition from. This bump out in the wall required us to back out into the open area and continue pulling the finish. Continue adding to the puddle to keep a wet edge. Pull the finish across the floor, cutting it ahead of yourself, until you get to an area where you're going to be backing out. There are several methods for backing out. It's important to note that the amount of finish should be judged correctly to avoid waste at the end. This technique pulls the wet edge across the grain, and the finish is then feathered forward with the grain. It's important to put pressure on the applicator to remove excess and avoid dripping it across the area being feathered in. Note the amount of finish on the floor as we are completing the first top coat. There is no waste as we exit. After waiting 2 to 3 hours for this coat to dry, you can apply the second coat using the same techniques. To purchase the tools or materials used in this video, go to phillyfloor.com.